Under the shade of the Bodhi tree, Buddha sat in serene contemplation. His disciples gathered around him in quiet attentiveness. A disciple named Ananda spoke, his voice trembling with vulnerability, confessing the struggle he faced with his mind's restless whispers. "Master," Ananda began, "my thoughts torment me with doubts and insecurities. They tell me I am unworthy, flawed, and insignificant." The man bowed deeply before the Buddha, his voice trembling as he shared tales of lost vigor and mounting ailments. "Buddha, my body has betrayed me. Years have rendered once steady limbs into fragile remnants of a fleeting youth. Thoughts that trouble us are like dark clouds passing through the sky. They obscure the light but are not permanent." The Buddha pointed to a nearby bird searching for worms, its delicate movements in harmony with the earth beneath. This bird does not question its existence, nor does it condemn itself for its simple pursuit of sustenance, Buddha remarked. Sudda's field lay barren, the once fertile soil now hardened with neglect, the Buddha stated. His disciples nodded solemnly, some recognizing themselves in the tale of the young farmer. "Once, in my youth, my heart wrestled with questions of inadequacy. I sought perfection but found only sorrow and discontent. I wandered into a forest seeking solitude, believing isolation would silence my doubts and purify my troubled mind." Buddha paused, reflecting on those moments that shaped his understanding of the human condition. As his disciples remained silent, among the trees, he continued, "I saw a deer limping, its leg injured, yet its spirit undiminished as it wandered onward. I realized then that life's essence does not lie in flawless steps but in the courage to continue despite imperfections." Ananda listened intently, his gaze fixed on Buddha, whose words seemed to unravel the knots of confusion within him. "Ananda, your self-talk is born of fear. A fear that your imperfections will isolate you or make you undeserving of compassion. But this fear is an illusion created by a mind that seeks control. Even where no control is possible," Buddha explained, "do not fight the voice of doubt, for resistance will only amplify its power." The Buddha gestured to the woods, pointing toward the towering trees whose roots stretched unseen beneath the soil. "Though you may not climb branches again, your roots grow deep, nourishing wisdom for the world beyond your lifetime." Ananda nodded slowly, as if tasting the wisdom that Buddha offered, its flavor unfamiliar yet nourishing to his soul. The Buddha then gestured towards a flowing river, its currents weaving paths through rocks, unaffected by obstacles in its course. A river does not pause to question its worth when it meets resistance. It moves forward, adapting to each challenge in its path. Let your mind be like the river, accepting the rocks of doubt and finding new paths without losing its flow, his disciples observed. The river in contemplative silence, the natural world offering lessons more profound than any words spoken aloud. The Buddha continued, "Negative self-talk often arises when we seek approval, believing that external validation defines our intrinsic worth, but true peace comes when we accept our flaws and embrace ourselves, not for our perfection, but for our authenticity." Ananda hesitated before replying, "Master, I fear that embracing my flaws will make me complacent and prevent me from striving for better." The Buddha smiled gently, his expression filled with understanding, and responded with measured wisdom tailored to Ananda's concern. "Growth is not hindered by acceptance. It is cultivated in the soil of compassion. From self-love, efforts become joyous, not burdensome. When we scorn ourselves, growth becomes an escape from pain. Remember, the seed holds the potential of the lotus, but it requires care and effort to bring it to bloom," he said. His words lingered in the air, like ripples spreading across a serene lake, etching themselves into the disciples' hearts. Buddha turned his focus to the group, broadening his teachings to include every soul present and each struggle they carried. You all possess the potential to transform self-doubt into wisdom. Through mindfulness, we unravel the narrative of inadequacy that binds us. Observe your negative thoughts as if they were drifting leaves. Let them pass without chasing or condemning their presence. The Buddha placed his hand lightly on Ananda's shoulder, affirming the connection that transcended words. A gesture speaking of solidarity. Ananda, your journey is shared by all. Your courage in seeking wisdom has already set you closer to inner peace. This grove, like aging itself, flourishes in transformation, each falling blossom sowing strength for future growth unseen yet inevitable. The Buddha's gaze lingered upon the stream, its ripples carrying reflections of the sky within impermanence's ceaseless embrace. Seated beneath a spreading mango tree, the disciples formed a quiet semicircle around their revered teacher. The Buddha began to speak, his voice steady and calm, drawing their focus like the river to its source. The Buddha remained, his presence resonating like the grove itself, teaching silently through the unspoken lessons woven into existence. Another day, another gathering under the Bodhi tree, where the Buddha welcomed his disciples into the quiet sanctuary of the forest. Sudama, a disciple burdened by self-reproach, rose to speak. His voice faltered, revealing the heaviness that had anchored his spirit. Master, my thoughts remind me constantly of my failures, my mistakes, and my shortcomings. How can I escape their grip? The Buddha turned his gaze toward the lotus pond nearby, its water reflecting the sky's serene expanse untouched by stormy clouds. Sudama, Buddha began, his voice steady and clear. The mind often traps itself in cycles of blame and regret. These chains are illusions. He gestured towards the lotus flowers floating gracefully on the pond's surface, their roots submerged in the mud below. These blossoms rise from mud, not denying their origins but transcending them. You too can find beauty within adversity's depths. Sudama's brow furrowed, the weight of his thoughts resisting the clarity Buddha sought to offer. The struggle visibly etched on him. The whispers in your mind, Buddha continued, are shadows of fear. They tell you stories to strengthen their control over you. Instead of avoiding these shadows, face them boldly. Invite them into your presence. Examine their nature without fear or judgment. Sudama looked into Buddha's eyes, searching for the understanding that seemed elusive amidst the murmurings of his troubled mind. Buddha shared a tale from his own journey, his voice flowing like the river through which wisdom gently courses. During my search for enlightenment, Mara appeared before me, embodying doubt, temptation, and fear. He sought to weaken my resolve. Mara's words tempted me to abandon my path. He whispered my failures, my inadequacies, and the impossibility of reaching enlightenment. The disciples listened in silence, the story of Mara resonating deeply as Buddha's trials mirrored the struggles within their own hearts. I did not resist Mara, Buddha said, his tone unwavering. I invited him to sit beside me. I acknowledged his presence. By seeing Mara without fear, his power faded. Doubt can only thrive when it remains unexamined, lurking in unlit corners of the mind. Sudama nodded hesitantly, as though a seed of courage had begun to root within him. Cultivated by Buddha's unwavering guidance, the Buddha pointed to a fisherman casting nets nearby, his movements deliberate and patient, awaiting the bounty hidden beneath the water. The fisherman does not curse the river for its resistance. He adapts his methods, learning from each unsuccessful cast. You too must approach your doubts with patience, not as enemies but as companions offering lessons for growth and understanding, Sudama replied, his voice tinged with uncertainty. Master, I fear that facing my failures will overwhelm me, leaving me helpless instead of stronger. The Buddha responded with calm wisdom. his words addressing not only Sudama but the shared fears of everyone present. Strength does not come from avoiding pain, but from embracing it with compassion. In acceptance, you find liberation. When we confront our fears directly, they lose their sharp edges and dissolve like the morning mist under the rising sun. Begin, the Buddha said, not with grand gestures but with simple acts. For in humility lies the strength to mend bonds. The grove filled with peaceful reflection. Disciples absorbing the Buddha's teachings. Their questions answered through vivid, compassionate narratives. But failures are guides, not barriers. They remind us of the path we've walked, the lessons we've learned, and the strength we've gained through perseverance. The Buddha's hand hovered above the surface of the pond, his fingers tracing patterns in the air, aligning with nature's rhythm. Observe the lotus, he instructed. It does not deny the mud below, for it knows its beauty arises from its connection to the earth. Likewise, do not reject your mistakes. Accept them as part of your journey, for they have shaped the person you are today. Sudama gazed at the lotus flowers, their simple elegance holding a wisdom that felt as pure as the Buddha's words. The Buddha then turned his attention to the group, expanding the scope of his teachings to reach every troubled soul within. Each of you has faced moments when your mind seemed to betray you, filling your hearts with doubt and uncertainty. These moments do not define your worth. They are invitations to look deeper, to learn and to grow beyond your limitations. The disciples bowed their heads, their reflections taking shape as Buddha's teachings illuminated paths forward from their struggles and fears. Sudama stood in silence, feeling a gentle resolve rise within him, like a river finding its course after twisting through rocks. Master, Sudama whispered, I will face my doubts as you faced Mara, with courage, acceptance, and compassion guiding my way forward. The Buddha nodded in approval, his presence offering reassurance beyond words, his teachings sinking deeply into Sudama's heart. The sun descended slowly behind the hills, its warm light casting an amber glow upon the group, symbolizing renewal and clarity. The disciples scattered into the night, each carrying the Buddha's wisdom, their burdens feeling lighter and their steps steadier. Sudama walked by the lotus pond, the flowers seemingly nodding in silent agreement with the truths he had now embraced. Another day faded into the night, leaving behind the seeds of strength and understanding that had been planted beneath the Bodhi tree. Another day, another morning under the Bodhi tree. The Buddha's presence radiated calm as his disciples assembled in quiet anticipation. Mahaprajapati, the eldest among them, rose to speak, her voice carrying the weight of years and the wisdom of experience. Master, she said, her tone hesitant, my thoughts remind me constantly of my aging body and fading strength. They mock my worth. The Buddha turned to her, his expression gentle, his gaze filled with an understanding that transcended the spoken word. Mahaprajapati, he began, his voice tender yet steady. The mind often clings to the transient and forgets the eternal within. He pointed to an ancient tree standing nearby, its bark weathered yet its roots firm, its branches reaching for the heavens. Do you see this tree? He asked. Its beauty does not diminish with age. Its strength lies in its foundation. Mahaprajapati looked at the tree, her eyes reflecting a yearning to grasp the lesson hidden within its silent presence. The world values youth and strength, Buddha continued, but wisdom sees beyond appearances, recognizing the timeless essence that lies within. Your worth is not measured by physical vigor but by the depth of understanding and compassion you bring to others. The disciples listened attentively, their hearts stirred by the profound truth Buddha unfolded like a lotus blooming in the light. Buddha shared a story, his voice weaving a tapestry of insight, each thread connecting the listeners to the universal human experience. Once During my wanderings, I met a widow who lamented her fading beauty, believing it made her invisible and insignificant. She adorned herself with jewels, seeking validation from others, yet her heart remained heavy, her spirit cloaked in sorrow. I sat with her, observing her pain, and asked her to look into a clear pond and describe what she saw. Another day may bring fading strength, yet liberation's truth guides us, transcending fears into oneness with life's infinite expression. The Buddha's gaze remained steady, reflecting wisdom without attachment to past or present, illuminating a path of surrender and peace. My dear disciples, aging reveals life's ultimate truth, where boundaries dissolve into liberation. Let each wrinkle deepen wisdom's transformative strength. The disciples bowed deeply, their hearts overflowing with gratitude as the Buddha's teachings shaped their paths toward timeless awakening. The hermit smiled gently, tears streaming, finding peace through liberation's embrace. As the mountain held the assembly in timeless quiet, he gestured towards the petals of a fallen flower. Their edges curled and their colors faded, yet their essence undiminished. This flower does not mourn its withering. It accepts its place in the cycle of life, contributing to the soil's renewal. You, too, are part of this cycle. Your wisdom enriches those around you, just as the soil nurtures future blossoms. Mahaprajapati nodded, the tension in her posture easing, as if a burden she had carried for years had begun to lift. But Master, she said, her voice still trembling, how do I quiet the voice within that tells me I am less? The Buddha answered with the calm clarity of a mountain stream, his words flowing effortlessly into the hearts of all present. Speak to this voice as you would to a troubled child, with kindness, patience, and a desire to understand its pain. Ask the voice why it feels this way, and listen deeply. Behind its harsh words lies a wound in need of healing. Replace self-criticism with self-compassion. Whisper to yourself, I am enough. Buddha's teachings wove a tapestry of insight, blending truth with beauty. As the sun dipped lower, casting fiery hues across the sky, Buddha addressed the group again. Your relationship with yourself is the foundation for all other relationships. Treat yourself with the same love you offer to others. He extended his hands outward, embracing the space around him. Wisdom unveils the truth of impermanence, guiding us toward liberation. Mahaprajapati, your value lies not in what you see in the mirror, but in the light you share with the world. Each moment you live with integrity. Each word you speak with kindness. Each action you take with wisdom reflects your true worth. The disciples sat in silence, their own struggles mirrored in Mahaprajapati's story, their hearts united in the shared search for meaning. The Buddha continued, addressing the group, his teachings encompassing every soul present, his words a guiding lantern in the darkness. We all carry voices within us, some nurturing, others wounding. To quiet the latter, we must amplify the former with love. Do not allow the voices of doubt to dominate your inner dialogue. Speak to yourself with the gentleness of a friend. Mahaprajapati raised her head, her eyes meeting the Buddha's, filled with gratitude and a newfound sense of inner strength. Master, she said, her voice steadier now, I will replace my self-criticism with compassion, nurturing the light within me as you have taught. The Buddha smiled, a gesture of encouragement and affirmation, his calm presence radiating the timeless truth he had shared. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of gold and crimson, a reflection of the transformation within the disciples. The gathering dispersed, each disciple carrying the Buddha's teachings as a beacon, guiding them through their own struggles and uncertainties. Mahaprajapati walked away from the Bodhi tree, her steps lighter, her heart filled with a sense of peace and purpose. Another day ended, leaving behind not the weight of self-doubt, but the grace of self-compassion and the strength of acceptance. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.